Back at the chickens. These are funny little things, man. I love staring at these chickens. And if you guys want to stare at my face, just let me know in the comments. But I don't think you want to stare at my face. These things are a lot more fun to watch. I need to name a couple of them. Get my perch going here. They got their perch, I got my perch. I want to talk about retirement. I've been retired now for about just a year and a half. About I was working in the Middle East, and my boss pissed me off, and I almost quit right then. And then my mom got a brain tumor. She's had it. They knew about it. They didn't think they could operate on it, and then they decided that they could operate on it. So she needed to go in for brain surgery, and it is cancerous, but it's slow growing. But she was losing some of her mental capacity, and so they wanted to at least stop that progression. So they decided to go in and reduce the size, not remove it, just reduce the size and give her some more area for that thing to keep growing without putting pressure on her brain like it was, and continuing to reduce her brain function. It was successful, but I didn't know it was going to be successful, so I wanted to be available for supporting and doing whatever. And my job at the time, even though I was in the Middle East, they said, "Hey, you can take as much time as you want for that." And I was like, I'm pissed off at you anyways, so I'm just going to go ahead and shut it down right now. That way I don't have to feel obligated to come back. In hindsight, maybe that was a selfish decision. Not selfish, but foolish decision, because I could have got some sick time out of them, or a plane ticket one way or the other, and it probably cost me a few $1,000 to just say, "Fuck you, I'm out." But it was a good feeling to say, "Fuck you, I'm out." And that's the difference with having "fuck you" money, is your boss pisses you off, or you don't want to deal with the shit anymore. "Fuck you, I'm out." And that's the best thing. And I'll probably make a video about that too, but the "fuck you" money is the best position to be in. So I shut it down, went home to Mom and Pop's house in North Carolina. She had the surgery in Atlanta, and it was successful, and she spent 3 or 4 nights in the hospital and then went home, and she was, other than having a big scar on the top of her head, she was doing pretty damn well for herself. There was some stuff. She had to learn how to read again. She couldn't recognize letters, which was crazy. So, but the amazing thing is, the human brain is fascinating, man. I didn't really think about it much, but she couldn't recognize a letter, and we would work on it in the hospital, and she couldn't recognize it. But then when she would sleep the next day, she could take a nap, and it wouldn't make a change. She still couldn't. But if she slept the night, came back the next day, she could recognize that letter and other letters. So the brain does its work when you're sleeping. If you don't sleep good, your brain doesn't work good. So I learned that big time then. Anyways, the human condition goes through 3 major phases, I think, in life. And that is school life, work life, and retirement life. And in there, you've got different stages of getting married, having kids, going to high school, going to college, all that kind of stuff. But the major phases, I think, are the 3 phases. And then you've got rules and guardrails and measures for success in all but one phase. And when you're going to school, you know what you're doing, you know where you're going. Your mama's there to help you, your tutors are there to help you, your teachers are there to help you. They're going to keep you on track, and it's up to you to succeed. But you have a clear road, clear path. Same for work life. Your boss is going to, pay you. Your boss is going to get people around you that can mentor you, get you up to speed, and then you're going to mentor other people, and the cycle goes on. You're going to change careers, change jobs, do whatever you're going to do. But there's a clear direction, clear goal, and in amongst there you can build your life, build your family, do whatever you're going to do. And then retirement, there's no book, there's no directions, there's no boss, there's no nobody, there's no nothing. There's no nothing telling you what you're going to do, what you want to do, what the best solution is for you. There's no, I mean, you could get somebody that's retired and can teach you and tell you. So you can do the mentor part, but there's no rule book. There's no nothing. You're on your own. And for some of us, that's not a good thing. For some of us, we need that guidance. For some of us, we function in a work life or school life or whatever life balance, and you take that away and you're struggling. So what I'm going to try to encourage you is think about that. Make a plan. Think about how you're going to feel and go through it in your mind and talk to people that have retired, and you talk to them and they say, oh, I'm busier now than I've ever been. I'm retired. I'm staying busy. And sift through the bullshit, They're busier than they ever been because they're getting drunk every day, or they're going to the casino every day, or they're whatever they're doing. Are they productive? Are they actually busy, or are they just being stupid? So you can wade through and pick a good mentor, or just think about it yourself and think about what you're going to do when you retire. And I thought about that for years. I was in the Middle East working night shift, and a lot of times I wasn't doing a whole lot. If you're good at the IT stuff, you're not very busy. And I always tried to make it look easy, because you really know when somebody knows what they're talking about when they can make it look easy. So there was times when it was all hands on deck and chaos and shit was really broke. But there was a lot of downtime too. It's like the Maytag repairman. If you got good parts and you got good crew, you can run a good ship, and it's not always broken. If it's always broken, then you're the problem in the IT world. So anyways, that gave me time to think about, what do I want to do when I retire? I've talked previously about I want to do rescue animals, or do this or do that, or travel and all that stuff. And I think the key point with that is not only do you got to think about what you're going to do, but you got to think about how you're going to fund it. Because think about your weekends now when you're working. When you're working, you're going and coming to work, and you're going home, you're eating dinner, you're chilling, you're watching TV, you're doing home repair and improvement projects, whatever you're doing. Most of your money is spent on the weekends when you have time. Well, when you're retired, it's always the weekend, and you have time. So you have to think about, what are you going to do, and are you going to be able to control your spending? So that's a big one. I think people kind of maybe got a little taste of that when COVID hit. They had a whole lot of time on their hands and nothing to do, and people were going to Home Depot, and they were doing home repair and improvement projects and stuff like that. So that's a good example of what happens when you got time on your hands. Hey, baby, you can think back to that time and how you handled it if you had free time. During COVID, I had just finished Kuwait, and I was back in the States, and I was taking a planned 1 year off anyways. So I was already planning to be not working. And that made it worse because a lot of stuff wasn't open, and I was extra bored. My plan was to travel, and that got shot in the ass. So I couldn't do that. So I was, every plan needs a backup plan. Every plan needs a follow-up. So don't just come up with one plan when you're retired of what you're going to do. Come up with several. And then you can mix and match that. If one doesn't work out, you can mix it around and do all that kind of stuff. There's no guide, though. So you got to analyze your personality and make sure it's for you in the way that you can entertain yourself, you can stay busy, and you can have a good time with it. And also consider, if you're retiring by yourself, who are you going to play with? Because running around by yourself sucks. I hate traveling by myself. It's boring as shit. And you see something cool, you got nobody to share it with. I mean, it blows your damn mind. You see something that you've never seen before and you want to say, holy crap, that's awesome. And you got nobody around to talk to. You got nobody to share it with. That's the worst. So for me, I hate traveling alone. I don't like it. It's I always feel like I'm making the wrong decision. I'm going the wrong direction. I'm lost in the airport, or I'm doing whatever. Or, it just sucks. So for you, maybe you don't feel that way. Maybe you're fine with that, or maybe you need to have somebody to retire with. So my current wife, girlfriend at the time, she had some balls, and I said, "Hey, I'm shutting it down. Do you want to come with me?" And she's like, "Fuck yeah, let's go." So I don't think that I would be able to do that in her situation. She had a good job, and it would be hard to go back to that job after taking time off. But she's like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'll go. Fine, let's do it." And so she's got a lot more balls than I do. And I didn't put a ring on her finger. She wasn't fiance material at that time or anything. So she was going out as a girlfriend. All her friends and family thought she was an idiot. But it worked out for her. She did what she did based on the information she had, and it worked out. So what I'm saying is that if you don't operate under guidance, without any guidance, if your personality type is you need somebody around to manage you, or else you're gonna stick to the vices. Maybe think about if you want to leave your country and go to a whole another country, and then have all those complexities mixed in with your retirement. So not only did I retire, but I left the only country I knew, at least for living independently and not under housing provided by a job, and moved to a different country and said F it. So that was a whole nother complexity. I had to figure out what life looks like in this country. Plus I had to figure out my personality and if I could handle being retired. Plus I had to find something to do. And it wasn't all peaches and cream. You know, I had several discussions with my significant other and figuring out she's going through the same thing. Figuring out if this is really what we want, if this is smart, if this is what we're doing. I mean, I left a healthy paycheck behind, and she joked with me about it, like, why the fuck did you leave that job? I mean, I was making way more money than I was worth. Sitting in the Middle East in a country that I didn't mind living in. I like Qatar. I miss Qatar. There's a lot of things I liked about Qatar. But Qatar also got bombed soon after I left. So, not that anybody was affected, but it's just not a nice feeling. But, you know, you got to figure out a lot of stuff. And your significant other does too. So you need to be able to have a strong relationship. You need to be able to lean on each other, support each other, and figure it out together. And have a good plan on spending money. This property here, there's no financing. There's no financing for foreigners in the Philippines. You want to set up shop, you better have some cash. You better have cash. And you better know how to transfer it to another country. And transfer it to what? Transfer it how? Well, this place was owned by a Filipino that was living in America, so I just did a bank transfer because he had a U.S. bank. So that worked out. I did U.S. to U.S. But I could have easily done a wire transfer for the amount that I paid for this, no problem. I might have had to talk to the bank, but I can do it all online with Charles Schwab Bank, which I recommend you get if you're going overseas. Get Charles Schwab Bank. It's good for being overseas. I only have high praise for that bank. And there's a couple other ones that are good for being overseas too. Just don't tell them you live overseas. But yeah, I mean, you're throwing down cash if you want to buy something. I looked at a property yesterday because I like this property, but it's good to keep your eyes open. If I could sell this place for double what I paid for it and I'd leave the solar behind, sell it for double what I paid for it, okay, now we're talking. So I'm going to put it up for sale. It's going to be too expensive. I wouldn't pay what I'm asking for it. I shouldn't have paid what I paid. But I'll throw it up for double, and if somebody wants it, they can have it. Double would mean 200 plus thousand US. So I don't think it's worth that. But well, you never know. You never know what somebody wants. Anyways, that's just think about what you're doing, and make sure. Don't be afraid to shut it down and retire, but make sure you got funding available and you can get access to cash. And if your retirement includes real estate and you're planning on living off of your real estate monthly, well, that doesn't give you a cash to buy something if you want to buy something. And I'm not saying buy something. Don't buy something in the Philippines. You're going to get boned because you can't own it. But if you feel compelled to buy something and you got a solid relationship and you want to set your wife and her family up for the future, you can buy something under her name and make a run of it. But not if you're getting paid monthly. You're going to save those payments enough to buy cash enough to buy a place? No, you're going to be spending it because that's what you do. You're retired. What are you saving for? In retirement, you don't save for nothing. You spend it. You enjoy yourself. The time for saving is over. You spend that money. But if you're going to buy something, you got to be able to throw down cash. There's no monthly payments. And the same goes for cars, the same goes for motorcycles, all that stuff. You're a foreigner, you're in another country, you're not going to get financed. And if you do, it's going to be at a ridiculous finance rate like they have here. The rates are stupid. They're victimizing people, and there's not enough protections for the consumer here. So keep that in mind. And if you sell your house back home and you don't have a backup plan, bad fucking idea. Don't do that shit. Don't fully 100% commit to shutting it down and coming over here without a backup plan. If it doesn't work in a month, then what do you got? You got to go start over back home, or you start over in a different country. Keep a backup plan. Don't do that shit. Rent your house out, put it on Airbnb, do something, let a family member live there at reduced rent. Do whatever you're going to do, but have a backup plan, man. Don't do that shit to yourself. For me, I got a house back home that's being rented, and I got a piece of property back home that's sitting doing nothing. It doesn't cost me hardly anything to keep that piece of property, so I'm not getting rid of that. Maybe someday I shut this down and I go back home. I don't know what I'm doing. Keep your options open. If you fully commit to a country and that country goes to shit, what are you going to do? You got to think about that, man. You got to think about that. If you're not living in your home country and you retire, you got to think about what's your backup plan. You can't just fully 100% commit and throw up some kind of laundry business or some other business that you think is going to kick ass. People ask me what I'm doing with this property here, or if I'm going to run a business, and fuck no, I'm not running a business. I'm fucking retired. I'm not running a business. I'm not sharpening knives. I'm not selling eggs. I'm not thinking about what kind of shit I can put together to try to make me money. No, fuck that. I'm retired. What part of retired don't you understand? Don't fucking do it. You come over here and you start a hot dog business. Come on. Use your fucking head, man. Don't do that shit. Unless you got nothing better to do and you're going to do it as a hobby and you're not expecting to make any money. Okay, all right, fine. You want to run a sorry store and not make any money. That's fine. But don't do it to try to make money, because you ain't going to make none. And if you are successful, they're just going to come looking for you for taxes, for whatever they can kind of strong arm you into paying. And you're the foreign guy. You're just the first one that's going to get screwed. So be retired. If you can't handle retirement without running some kind of business, run a business back home. Ain't nobody got money here. Nobody's got no money. You want to run a business here? Good fucking luck. If you don't have experience running a business back home and you know how to make it with a shoestring budget, don't fucking come here. They don't They don't sell real milk in the stores here. They sell science in the stores in a unrefrigerated in a carton. They sell science. Why? Because that's what the locals can afford. It's water, sugar, and some bullshit. Okay? You can get milk here. It's a little bit more expensive, but you can't get fresh milk unless you're in a big city. What I'm saying is everything is catered to what the locals can afford. And there is not much profit margin in there. You want to run a fucking sorry store? You're going to sell chips? Because of competition and because of what the people can pay, you're going to make 2 pesos on that sale? It's not worth fucking with. You're going to have more in losses from people stealing from you, from your staffs stealing their dinner from you. Don't fuck with that shit, man. Be retired. Have a plan. Have a plan where you don't work. Have a plan and have some money. And be able to throw down some cash. And what's that chicken got in its mouth? He's got something. He ate some shit. Alright, I'm gonna have to shut this down and fix that chicken. I don't usually have to do this, but he's got something in him. She got something in his mouth. Alright, so there you go. End of the talk anyways. We'll see what happens with this chicken. I'll give you an update, maybe, if I remember. Like, comment, subscribe. Chicken to the rescue.